Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 213. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. It was a big week with Apple's announcements on Tuesday, of course, which I'll give you a quick summary about in a moment. But this hour, we have 3 awesome interviews lined up for you. We're going to hear what it's like to work at Amazon in a tech career and how you can apply yourself, even if you don't think you're qualified. Also, if you love your pets, and of course you do, we're going to hear all about Vetster, a high-tech way to visit a veterinarian. And book lovers, we're going to get the skinny on legible.com, a new and versatile way to read your ebooks. All of this and more on Tech It Out, powered by Asus for those in search of incredible, which I'll tell you more about shortly. But first, Apple unveiled a few new iPhone 13s on Tuesday at its virtual event called California Streaming. The new devices feature a new look with an advanced camera system, of course. There's a smaller notch on the front. It's about 20% smaller than before. There's an updated processor called the A15 Bionic chip, longer lasting batteries, which is important, and more storage, starting at 128 gigabytes and going all the way up to 1 terabyte, or about 1,000 gigs. That's a lot, and I think that's ideal for those who shoot photography, videography. These new iPhones come in 5 new colors: pink, blue, black, white, and red. I'm getting one to play around with on Monday, but it doesn't seem like there's anything too substantial here from what I've read. I am, though, excited about getting my hands on the new Apple Watch 7, including a larger model with a bigger screen and longer battery life. Plus, there's also a pair of new iPads as well. I get more into depth on these new Apple products on social media. It's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. But that's your quick update on Apple's annual reveal the other day. All right, now let's officially kick off the show with our first interview. Wouldn't it be cool to get a sneak peek behind the curtain at one of the biggest tech companies on the planet? We're now going to learn what it's like working at Amazon, in the tech space, in fact, behind the scenes with our next guest. And how do we get more people into tech jobs to make sure they're qualified to take those jobs with more STEM studies for students, science, technology, engineering, and math? Joining us on the line to discuss is Halston Kreitz. She is a senior software development engineer at Amazon, and she's also instrumental in the Amazon Technical Academy, or ATA, which we'll also learn about. Welcome to the show, Halston.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty, tell us a bit about yourself and your work at Amazon.
Sure. So you mentioned I'm at Amazon. I've been there for a little over 9 years now, which is super crazy to say, considering I left high school without the slightest idea of what computer science was, or that software engineering was even a job. So I stumbled upon it in college because I had to take some computer science classes to get my BS. And I absolutely loved it. I ended up going to get my master's in computer science and joining Amazon as an SDE right out of grad school. But I knew that I wanted to help bring more awareness and accessibility to computer science. The fact that not knowing it existed could have led me to not having this job, or for any kid to not end up as an engineer because they don't know about it is a pretty bad reason. So I started volunteering in high schools through various organizations to teach computer science classes and mentor students about 7 years ago. I thought it was super rewarding, showed me how much I loved being in a classroom and helping people learn. So I was super fortunate that an opportunity came up at Amazon about 4 years ago to create an internal technical academy. And so I jumped at the chance. So I've been designing and building, iterating on curriculum, delivering instruction, and building software to help our program scale now.
Very cool and very impressive. And I'll ask you more about the ATA, or Amazon Technical Academy, in a moment. But it's funny, when people think of jobs at Amazon, they probably visualize a courier, driving a truck, or maybe someone in the warehouse. But talk to us about what it's like to work in tech at Amazon and what that job entails specifically.
Yeah. So people might imagine me sitting in front of a computer screen all day in an office, and they're not totally wrong. Some of my time is spent in front of a computer screen writing code. But I think what people don't realize is how collaborative it is to work in tech. And specifically at Amazon, you work on these really small teams. We call them 2 pizza teams. So a team no bigger than what 2 pizzas could feed. So you're working really closely with this handful of other engineers and also your product managers and operations teams and marketing teams. So much more of our job as technical employees at Amazon is really spent brainstorming and discussing, designing, like, how are we going to build this new product? How are we going to release this new feature? What does the software look like? How do we test it? And so that's what I've really loved about being at Amazon is I've always felt really connected to the products I'm building and on behalf of the customers that I'm building them for. Mm-hmm. So it's been a ton of fun, and I just really enjoy that collaborative, fast-paced environment that Amazon offers me.
I'm sure a lot of our listeners are Amazon shoppers, or they own an Amazon device like a Kindle or an Echo speaker. Is there any one feature or platform that you've contributed to that we would be familiar with?
Probably wouldn't like my answer because it's ads.
Okay. But that's useful. I know people roll their eyes at that, but I don't want to be delivered an ad that's not relevant to what I'm not interested
Absolutely. In. And our vendors are our customers too. And so we've been able to provide them with a lot of self-service advertising tools that help our smaller vendors on Amazon get their products recognized and bought.
Yeah, important work. And talk to us about Amazon's initiative. I understand they're looking to hire more than 40,000 tech and other corporate jobs in the US alone, right?
Yeah, one of our leadership principles at Amazon is to be customer obsessed. And we're seeing an unprecedented customer demand. We are obsessed with meeting that demand and continuing to deliver the exciting new products that people expect of Amazon. And so in order to do that, we need to hire more people to support these businesses. So that's why we're recruiting for these roles and also investing in our current workforce and those who want to come to work at Amazon so they can take these next steps in their careers.
Awesome.
That's where teams like mine are really focused is helping internal Amazonians grow their skills in order to become SDEs.
Sorry, what's SDEs?
Software development engineers.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. We're also working with external coding schools like Lambda School, Kenzie Academy to build out learning pathways for non-Amazonians to make this same career switch into software engineering.
And I also understand Amazon is hiring more than 55,000 people globally as well, which is also very impressive. We are chatting with Halston Kreitz. She is a senior software development engineer at Amazon, a self-professed Amazonian. Ironically, didn't even know that she was going to get into coding, and she's now talking to us about her work at one of the world's biggest tech companies. And you also mentioned Amazon Technical Academy. Can you tell us a bit more about that now?
So ATA is a training and job placement program, and we equip non-technical Amazonians with the essential skills to transition into and thrive in software engineering careers. So when we say non-technical, we mean you do not need to have a background in computer science or really any degree to get into ATA. But it is a full-time, tuition-free training program that takes about 9 months. And our goal is to land people in SDE roles across the company. And so we've been really successful in doing that. 98% of our graduates have been placed in SDE roles at Amazon and all over the company. So they are not all making ads. Some of them are building shopping experiences at Alexa. Some of them work in our worldwide operations network or Amazon Web Services. So we're putting them out there across the company.
Awesome. So, because, for years we've been telling and encouraging kids to get involved in STEM studies, the science, technology, engineering, and math, but isn't always the right path. You can still end up doing a similar job in IT without even having that kind of a science-based background. In fact, you may even have some skills that will lend itself to being a successful engineer that you would welcome at the company as well.
Absolutely. I think more and more jobs are becoming focused on technology, and STEM education is absolutely on the rise, and it is helping grow a new crop of engineers. But we need them now in order to be able to help people grow their careers and to help Amazon continue to build and innovate. And so that's why it's become such a priority for Amazon to provide these technical training skills. We know that access to training like this can have really positive long-term impacts for our employees and also our customers.
All right. So it's called Amazon Technical Academy, or ATA for short. To apply, is there a website that you would recommend to see if you qualify, how long it takes, as you touched on, and any other information that could be helpful?
Sure. For our ATA program, you can check out aboutamazon.com/upskilling2025 to learn more there. And you can visit amazon.jobs to learn about any opportunities at Amazon.
Halston, it's been great chatting with you. Congrats on your successes at the company to date. And thanks for carving out some time to chat with us about IT jobs at Amazon and the Technical Academy as well. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Speaking of tech, this show is powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, monitors, tablets, smartwatches, smartphones, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to learn all about Vetster. This is a virtual visit to a vet, so remote healthcare, but for your beloved dog or cat or other pet. So we're going to learn how this online video platform works. When we return, you're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, you're listening to Tech It Out. If you own a pet, you're going to want to hear this next interview, as we're now going to learn about Vetster, billed as the world's fastest growing veterinary telehealth and pet care marketplace, and all the advantages that a virtual visit to a vet offers opposed to an in-person one. Joining us to chat is Mark Bordeaux. He's CEO and co-founder of Vetster. Welcome to the show, Mark. Good to chat with you.
Really nice to be here, Mark.
Sure thing. Now, before we talk about Vetster and you let us know what the platform is all about, is it true that there is a shortage of veterinarians out there? And if so, what do you attribute this to?
It's an unfortunate circumstance, but it is absolutely truthful and factual what's happening in the veterinarian industry. There's been a major boom in pet adoption that started at the beginning of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And as a result, it's become increasingly more difficult to get an appointment with an in-clinic vet. We are seeing messages come in through our systems, people either unable to get into a veterinarian, unable to see their own vet for days or weeks when they need them. It is a problem that is widespread across North America, but also emergency clinics have been absolutely overwhelmed by the spike in pet adoption that we've seen over the last year and a half.
So with that in mind, Mark, it's been said good technology solves a problem. So how does Vetster solve this issue?
Mark, we're so happy to be doing something where we can use our technology skills to really help pet parents globally and, to start with here in North America. We have decades of experience in building tech marketplaces, and we've taken that experience and we've applied it to a marketplace in the veterinary field where we're assisting all different types of pet parents. When we think about pet parents, I always like to say it's not just cats and dogs. We're seeing birds, reptiles, hamsters, bunny rabbits, horses, all kinds of different pets on Vetster's platform. And we're able to use our technology to connect veterinarians, licensed veterinarians, with pet parents across North America and really help them get timely appointments when they, for a number of different use cases. I don't only like to use the one when they can't see their current vet, but they could be traveling, they could be stuck at work, they could be a holiday, they may not want to or be able to afford the price that their in-clinic vet would charge. There's a number of different use cases and why people would turn to telemedicine appointments as opposed to going to their vet. But we're able to use our technology, I guess, to answer your question, to really match up these two groups, pet parents and veterinarians across North America.
All right. So it's a veterinary telehealth solution. So I'm assuming it's like a remote chat with a vet from the comfort of your home, or as you said, an office or maybe a hotel room if you're traveling. But is it handled over text, audio, or video?
We have an incredible video platform that we've built for custom video appointments with live veterinarians.
Okay. Is the vet seen as well, or the vet is only looking at the pet parent and their pet with them, presumably?
No, the easiest example would be any one of the teleconferencing softwares that we commonly use, be it Zoom or Google Meet or anything.
Sure.
The actual appointment is not a whole lot different from those, except that we've added in a number of custom features to make the appointment mimic an in-clinic appointment.
Can you talk to us, Mark, about some of those features that are sort of unique to a vet visit?
Absolutely. One of my favorite parts about the actual appointment is the medical record. This is a full medical appointment. So you can expect to be met by a licensed veterinarian, and then all the different types of features that you would hope to have, including the ability to upload photos, videos, any sort of diagnostics that you may have, be it a lab result or an x-ray or anything like that, can be uploaded ahead of the meeting for the veterinarian to review. Post-meeting, the veterinarian will write a full, complete medical review and report of the appointment. That report is really important for the pet parent. They can download it, they can share it with their in-clinic or home veterinarian, and they can use it as reference in the future for any appointment that they may have. So throughout the appointment, it's not only built on really great backbone of Twilio, actually, and great technology, but it's customized to mimic the in-clinic appointment. And then at the end of it, you get a full summary and full report of what transpired in the appointment, the conversation that you had, as well as where applicable, the diagnosis and the next steps.
Got it. Mark, can a veterinarian really diagnose virtually? Unlike a physician, for a person, which may, they want to feel your glands, they may want to look down your throat. What are some of the challenges with doing this virtually with pets?
It's a very common question, and thanks for asking that, Mark. Human telemedicine is something that over the past 2 years, and even probably before that, has really gained a lot of traction. So many humans are turning to telemedicine to meet doctors, to get diagnosed and fill prescriptions through human telemedicine. And I think we've seen a lot of the same type of benefits to using telemedicine for pets. The short answer is, first, I'm not a veterinarian, so let's be clear about that. Mm-hmm. But what I have seen through thousands of appointments with our veterinary partners, they're amazing at what they do. And there's commonality in the diagnosis and symptoms of these patients. So while the pets can't talk, communication is really paramount for a great telemedicine appointment. And as long as the veterinarian and pet parents can communicate effectively, they're going to get to the right diagnosis, and the course of action will likely be the same, be it in clinic or through telemedicine.
More with Vetster when we return.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, everyone. We are talking with Mark Bordeaux, CEO and co-founder of Vetster. We're learning about this veterinary telehealth solution, as well as a pet care marketplace, which we'll learn more about in a moment, and all the advantages that a virtual visit brings to the table. Before the break, I was asking you if you really can properly diagnose a pet virtually without a vet actually doing all the vitals and holding the pet and looking at it. And you were making the case before the break about all the things you can do with a video chat. Maybe you can expand a bit more on that.
We see thousands of cases on Vetster, and again, all sorts of ailments through all sorts of pet species. everything from UTIs to ear infections, rashes, coughs, sneezing, nutrition, training, gastro issues. The symptoms that we can treat are certainly in the hundreds. And our licensed veterinarians are incredible at being able to diagnose the symptoms and then provide a really strong course of action. Now, obviously, telemedicine has its limitations. So we're not a place to come if your animal has a broken leg and you want that diagnosed, or if there's something of a very serious nature like that absolutely needs to be seen physically and in person. But in most cases, we are able to treat the patient, and we are able to diagnose and provide a very strong course of action for the pets. And you know what? A really good analogy for it is pediatric care. So parents with their babies that go in to see doctors, the babies can't talk. And so it's the parents that are describing the symptoms that they're seeing with their newborns. And it is not that different than taking your pet to a veterinarian through telemedicine.
And what if the pet needs medication?
Great question. So we have just launched our own Vetster RX platform. In geographies that allow for it and where regulations permit, Vetster can provide you with a prescription that can be filled on our site. We have launched Vetster RX in the US only right now, and we plan on launching it in Canada very shortly. But on our platform in the US, you're able to see a licensed veterinarian, be diagnosed, and get a prescription. And again, I must say where regulations permit. It's not available in every state throughout the US, but where regulations permit, we're able to do that. In Canada, we're still able to prescribe. It's just not through the Vetster RX program. It is a little bit more manual of a process in Canada, but we are able to provide.
And I'm assuming that the veterinarian that you're connected to doesn't need to be in your specific city or state or province. It can be anywhere, right?
Depending on what type of appointment you need, you are correct. If you're looking for a diagnosis and prescription, you're going to want the veterinarian to be located within your state, country, or province. If you're looking for a general opinion and general guidance, and let's say something like nutrition, then you're absolutely right. You can have a veterinarian from either country in any state or province take that appointment. The platform is available 24/7. We see patients on holidays, on weekends, evenings, depending on how late you need an appointment with Vetster licensed veterinarian. You may have your wait times will differ. If you're looking for somebody at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m, you may have to wait a couple hours for your appointment to actually take place, but you can use the platform to actually book your appointment and get the veterinarian all the information they need ahead of the appointment so that everyone's prepared.
Got it. And then finally, how much does Vetster cost? Do you price your platform per visit, like an a la carte model, or is it more buffet style, like an all-you-can-eat subscription model, like a monthly cost?
We will be launching our subscription program in September. So we're very excited about that. Today, this is a pay per appointment model. You're able to browse through a number of different veterinarians. You're able to read reviews about them. You're able to view their license information, the years that they've been practicing for. You're able to see a description of a little bit about them and what species they specialize in or what languages they speak. And you really get to shop for the veterinarian that meets your needs. So the veterinarians themselves are the ones that are determining how much they charge per appointment. Generally, appointments start as low as $50.
Is that for a specific amount of time?
Generally, our appointments run in the neighborhood of 15 minutes or less, but we do allot additional time as required.
Okay. And then the best website is vetster.com. And then you can just search for the word Vetster, Vetster, at the App Store for iPhone or iPad, or the Google Play Store for Android devices. Mark Bordeaux, great to chat with you. Thank you again.
We really appreciate the opportunity to be on here.
It's my pleasure. And I know how many listeners have pets that they love and adore, and they want to learn about things like this, a virtual visit to the vet. And for those who love to read, after we take a break in a moment, we're going to learn about legible.com. This is a new way to read using your web browser, but we're going to hear what makes this platform unique compared to regular e-readers. So we're going to learn all about that. But since we have a couple of minutes left in this block, I would like to remind you that I'm on social media. If you want to come by and say hi this weekend, it's Mark with a C, SALTZMAN. And as you may know, I write a tech tip of the day, a little way to get more out of your tech, a little hack, something that you may not know that could save you some time or money or aggravation with your favorite devices like an iPhone or your smart TV or something like that. I also link to articles that I write. One of them I wrote last week was on the retro craze. So what's old is new again. So I mentioned how in the 70s we had turntables, in the 80s we had stand-up arcade machines, and in the 90s the introduction of the flip phone, but they've all come back in 2021 with a high-tech twist. So in this article, and you can just do a search for Retro Rocks and my name, I looked at how turntables are making a comeback with the House of Marley, but now with Bluetooth, so you can wirelessly stream your vinyl to a nearby Bluetooth speaker or a soundbar or what have you. Arcade cabinets are now getting trendy in the home, replicas of the stand-up arcades that don't require quarters now, but you can play your favorite games like Pac-Man or Frogger or Galaga for a couple of $100 in a huge cabinet with other games built in as well. There's also virtual pinball tables, which uses a giant screen instead of a real silver ball and real flippers, but they look like the real deal and they adhere to proper physics and all that, but you can change from one of like 22 different table designs, which is really neat. And then for flip phones, Samsung just released its Galaxy Z Flip 3, which is all one screen now. You can slip into your jeans or into a small clutch purse, but then it expands to an over 7-inch device, a big Android phone to play games and surf the web and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you like that article called Retro Rocks, and you can see it on social media. All right, when we return, we're going to catch up with legible.com. For book lovers, it's an ambitious platform, as you're going to hear after this short break. You are listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Check it out. Hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. This show is powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, and that includes its line of award-winning laptops. There's the ZenBook family, which is all about innovation and cutting-edge design. The VivoBook family, super colorful, great all-around PCs. There's the ExpertBooks for more of a business-grade laptop. Chromebooks, ideal for students, thin and light, fast boot up times, and secure. And ROG, or Republic of Gamers brand of laptops for extraordinary gaming performance. Head over to asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. If you like to read, there's never been a better time to be alive. Not only could you order a book to your door, but you can also download an electronic book or ebook to read within seconds, or even read them in your web browser on virtually any device, anywhere. As we're going to learn about now with a company called legible.com. Their goal is to make reading and publishing simple and accessible to all. Joining us on the line is Callie Hainsworth, CEO and founder at legible.com, based in beautiful Vancouver. Welcome to the show, Callie.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Mark.
Why don't we start right from the top? What is legible.com all about?
Legible.com is a browser-based online global publishing and reading platform that seeks to bring access to millions of books to billions of people around the world.
All right. So someone's listening to this. They love reading. Do they log on to that website and then buy or rent a book? Walk us through the process, please.
Absolutely. Right now, legible.com is a purchase-only or a la carte store. Mm-hmm. We're introducing a subscription service shortly, as well as rental, as well as read free with ads. But Legible, it's so easy to access books on Legible. You can access any book on our site using any device on any browser in about 3 clicks, actually, or 3 taps of your finger. Our primary goal in Legible is to make reading accessible as possible. So in the way that you have Spotify, for instance, for accessing your music, and you have Netflix for accessing your films, you have Legible now for accessing your books in roughly the same way.
All right, so it's on demand and all that content lives in the cloud. And because a book is, generally speaking, since it's text, it's a small file, so it does load pretty instantaneously. There's no downloads or anything you have to wait for. It just starts. You pick a book that you want to read, like Sandra Brown's Blind Tiger, and then all of a sudden it just pops up in your browser and you can read it.
Absolutely, within seconds. You can add it to your library, start creating your own bookshelves. You can share it with others. We have lots that you can do with that book, but absolutely being able to sit down and read it between devices. You can start it on one device, finish on another device. And in the near future, you'll be able to access your audiobooks directly in the same place as your ebooks as well.
That's great. Now, what do you say to those who ask, well, why would I want to read a book in a web browser? I like my e-reader or my tablet, where it's a dedicated app in some cases.
We made Legible a mobile-first reading experience. People are already reading an enormous amount on their phones and on their tablets. This gives them immediate access to the world's books through the device they're already using. If they can't afford or don't want to purchase a single-use reading device, they're welcome to use any device they already have to access the books we already offer in a frictionless and accessible way that they should expect in the 21st century. We've really made a meaningful change in the way books are delivered. It's kind of like a carrier change. It's like when we went from renting movies at Blockbuster to streaming movies on Netflix. It's the same kind of change. Certainly somebody can access a book can continue using their single-use reading device, but we're making a proposition change here. What we're saying is for the good of the planet, honestly, accessing books using a single-use device is a carbon-intensive reading process. Whereas we already have devices that we use. Certainly people can continue buying, like iPods in order to use for music, or they can use the phone they already have in their pocket to access all the same music. We're offering the same proposition except for books.
And is the experience similar to, say, an e-reader, Callie? Do you use your fingertips to tap or flip through the pages as if they were real? Yeah. Bookmark a page easily.
Bookmark, you can scroll, you can do all of those things in Legible. In fact, I would say that we have, and I'm going to say it, this is a strong statement, but I think I can back it up by just the use of it, probably the world's most beautiful and sophisticated reading system for books. That is...
It's a bold claim, yeah.
It's a bold claim, but we have it. And it's able to render books the way they're supposed to. So you asked a minute ago about whether people can continue using their app or continue using books. Certainly they can for a little while. Eventually, they're going to have to switch over, just like everybody did with music, from buying to streaming, or most people will. You can still buy books, of course. But the thing is that those apps use a very outdated code base. Our reading system uses modern web code bases, which means if you can do it on the web, you can do it in a book in our browser-based reading system. So we really do offer books in beautiful ways, the way they were meant to, and have never had an opportunity to shine before.
And I'm sure, with an app, you have to download an updated version of that app for some new features. But when it's a web-based platform like legible.com, you can do all those changes in the back end, and it's invisible to the user.
It's invisible to the user, and it also means you can use it in any country you happen to find yourself in the world. We're not relegated to an app store ghetto. We are wild on the World Wide Web, actually.
We're going to continue learning about legible.com when we return. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Check It Out whenever you want.
We are chatting with colleague Hainsworth. He is the CEO and founder at legible.com. This is a web browser-based book platform that lets you buy or rent books and read them on virtually any device. And I'm going to ask you about book selection in a moment, because I would think that's really important for a book lover to adopt your platform. But just going back to some of the other features that we are now used to with dedicated apps or maybe an e-reader, the ability to change the font style and size, changing the margins to suit your interests, tapping on a word to get a dictionary definition, you can do all that?
You can do that. There are some things that are still in process. We'll have those coming out soon. Our reading system, which, as I said, and I'll say it again, is really the most beautiful reading system you can access a book on, is only just beginning. We are just coming out of beta. So you can only imagine what it's going to be like in a month or 2 months. We will have annotation features, sharing features, and so much more.
So if you do look for a book, I'm assuming you can either browse by the kinds of books you like fiction, nonfiction, or do a search. But how many titles are we talking about here? Does it compete with some of the bigger, more established platforms?
That's a great question. We have just about 5,000 to 10,000 books being uploaded onto Legible every single day of the week. By the end of this year, we will easily be the third or even the second largest book platform on the planet. So as we go, more books are being added all the time, and we will have well over 1.3 million books at some point in October or November. So you can imagine knowing how many books we have on the site is not possible given how many books are being brought on the site. So on a daily basis, if the book isn't there yet for you, let us know. It'll likely be on there very shortly. And certainly by the end of the year, every book you could ever want from around the world will be available on legible.com.
All right. And that does include like the latest New York Times bestsellers, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. That's right. So we have agreements and contracts with the major publishers around the world, and more every single week. So chances are the book you're looking for will be there. But as I said, if not, it won't be long until it is.
And you hinted at the option to read for free, but with ads at some point. I think a lot of our listeners would be up for that if it meant that they wouldn't have to buy the book outright. But are there books currently now that are free? And if so, are they all the classics?
Absolutely. I have kids, school-age kids, and they're already using and setting up their Legible accounts to have all of the books that they need to read in school, in their English departments and philosophy school classes and so on. So people now can go on to Legible, create an account or not actually, and start accessing the free books immediately that we have. And we have thousands and thousands more on their way. It just takes time to do epic things, which is what we're doing.
Finally, if most books aren't free, is the price comparable to like a Kindle or a Kobo or an Apple Books, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. So our prices are not determined by us. They're determined by the publishers, and they're the same ones that put their prices on the other platforms or the device dependency platforms like Kindle and Kobo. However, we are continuously monitoring the prices of our books, and we're always looking to bring the prices of our books down. Now, there are 4 ways over the course of the next 3 months that people will be introduced to access to books. The first that we have on offer right now is purchase. Anyone can purchase a book. It goes into your library. You can have immediate access to it, as well as our free books as well. Secondly, we are introducing a real game-changing and really world-first subscription service in over the next month and a half, which means that anyone for a low price of $14.99 a month can access every one of Legible's books, which we will be curating and providing top-level merchandising so people can discover the books easier. Following that, we'll be offering books for people through a rental fee. You can rent books for 3 days or 7 days or 1 month. And then finally, as you mentioned, we are offering partner-supported reading, which allows people to access their books with advertising the same way people access music on Spotify. They'll be accessing books on Legible through our partner-supported reading.
All right. Well, this is really exciting. I'm eager to check it out myself, legible.com. Callie, great to chat with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Mark. It's been a joy.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this program. We spoke with Legible, Vetster for pets, and Amazon about tech jobs that you may even qualify for, even though you might not realize it. Thank you again to ASUS for those in search of incredible. ASUS is the title sponsor on this program, and they have been since Tech It Out launched in July of 2017. And I usually end off the show with a reminder to properly back up your important files. If there's one piece of email I get get from Tech It Out listeners. It's that something happened to their computer and they did not back up. So at the risk of sounding preachy, perhaps pick up a Western Digital external hard drive, a SanDisk, thumb drive, something. Thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I look forward to catching up with you next time for another episode of Tech It Out. Be well. Bye-bye.